Hey everyone, welcome back to the SwiftUI interview series. Today I'm going to cover a very important topic of the SwiftUI where I will explain you what is struct and classes into the SwiftUI, where we use and how to use that. So first of all, what is struct and classes? In Swift, both struct and classes is a blueprint for holding the data into the object format, okay? But there is one major difference in between struct and classes. Struct is a value type and classes is a reference type. Value type means it will not create the reference of the struct. Whenever you are creating the reference, it will be the new object model for that particular. I will tell you everything into the practical example. Stay continue with me. So now let's understand what is the basic difference in between struct and classes. So structs is stored into the stack memory, whereas class is stored into the heap memory. So both stored into the different memory stack. Basically, struct used for creating the copy of the data, while class is used for creating the reference of the data. It means that whenever you are changing any variable inside the reference, then it will change into the parent reference also. That is the meaning of the classes. But in struct, whenever you are changing the variable inside the child one, then it will not impact into the parent hierarchy. And one important and very basic is struct cannot be inherited, whereas class can be inherited. You can extend the class, you can inherit one class into the another, but you cannot inherit struct value from one to another. And another one is that struct is lightweighted, whereas class is heavyweighted. So we have to understand where we have to use the struct and where we have to use the class models. Now we understand what is struct, we understand what is classes, we understand what is the difference in between classes and struct. Now the question is where we have to use struct and where we have to use classes. Use struct wherever your data is very simple, like profile, settings, or a model that doesn't need to be shared somewhere, and use classes where you require inheritance one property into the another property. There you have to use the classes. And where you are storing very complex infrastructure like cart value and item update information or any local storage, there you have to use the classes. Now that was the theory. Let's understand practically where we have to use the struct and how to use the struct and how to use the classes and what is the difference. Does it really the difference what I told you? Just understand that. So we are going to implement these practical things into our login view. In my previous video I have explained you how to open one screen from another. In today's video we are going to understand struct and classes. So here I will create struct user. I will take type of string, okay, and where email. Now this is my struct. Same way I'm going to use class, and for name references I can give this user struct, okay, user class. Here also I'm going to use the same thing, so I will copy paste over here. Now we have two value. Now from here I'm going to use dot on appear, and from here I'm going to create one function to check the output of this, okay. So private test output is my function. So now I'll create first struct 1 equals user struct. Inside that I'm going to assign dot name equal to Pushpendra, and here also, and email pushpendra@gmail.com. Here also class 1 dot email. Okay, now you've seen that I have created struct 1 and class 1. Now here I will create where 2 equals struct 1. It means that in actually what should happen, struct 1 should be assigned to the struct 2. Now struct 2 I'm going to assign struct 2 name. I'm going to make Rohit. So let's see what will change if we are printing. Okay, so now let's print them. Print struct 1 name, and same way struct 2 name. Okay, here what actually should be happen, let's understand. I'm just going to run this, and before that I have to call this function from here, just a small t. Now rerun it. So here it's run. So here you can understand struct 1 is printing Pushpendra and struct 2 is printing the Rohit. So it means that it has been created the copy. It's not created the reference of user struct. Now same thing let's understand with the class. I'm going to assign my next class where class 2 equal to class 1, and same I'm going to print over here also. So now let's understand, and before that I'm just going to give print just for presentation. Okay, now let's run it and see the output. Now here you can understand, when we assign struct1 value to struct2, then it's create a copy of struct1. So that's why here name, struct1 name is still Pushpendra and struct2 name has been changed to Rohit. But in class, when we assign one class to another, means when we created the class 1 and created the class 2 and we have assigned the class 1 to class 2, then we reassign the name value as Rohit. So here what happened, this class reference has been assigned to class 2, then that's why class name 1 is coming Rohit and class 2 name is coming Rohit. So that is the basic and major difference in between struct and classes, that what I only told you. And another difference is class is heavy weighted where struct is light weighted. So that was the difference in between struct and classes. I hope you understand about it and what type of question can be there for struct and classes, where you need to prefer the struct, where you need to prefer the class, what is the major difference in between struct and class, why you need to use the class, why you need to use the struct, which one is heavy weighted, which one is light weighted. So like that question can be there into the SwiftUI when you are preparing for the interview. Now in conclusion, by default wherever you are using the models, there use the struct until unless it is not required to be as a class. So this is my feedback over here, and thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for a complete series of the interview preparation of the SwiftUI, and not only for that, you can get the experience while you are watching these videos. You can understand depth level where we have to use which keyword, where we have to use what things, and you can be more professional. You can use it in your experience. You can enjoy the programming. Thank you so much. Have a great time.